Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got a couple headlines. One of them is about, of course, a Satoshi era wallet that moved $8.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. And the other headline, gonna be a little dived into here in a second. But of course, let's get you prepped for some success today. As always, I got that stock heat map pulled up, and we're seeing a little bit of some sell-off in the pre-market after a nice green close on Friday. Apple looking to the upside off of its close on Thursday. My bad there. Thursday, we were closed on Friday because of the 4th of July. Speaking of which, I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend. Had a little bit of fun with the family, all that, and is ready to get back into the swing of things. But we are seeing that sell-off this morning with Apple sitting down 0.87%. We've got Nvidia down 0.82%. We got Berkshire Hathaway sitting down 0.45% this morning. Amazon sitting down 0.32%. But here in 2 days, they will, or 1 day actually, they will be having their Prime Day sales. So might be seeing a little bit of green for Amazon this week. We do have Eli Lilly sitting down 0.33% in the morning. ExxonMobil down 0.96%. Tesla sitting down 6.34% right now. We've got P&G sitting down 0.06. We've got Microsoft sitting up 0.01. We've got Google sitting down 0.7% and Meta sitting down 0.52. For the crypto side of things, we're looking quite green here. Are seeing a little bit of some pullback here on the hourly though. We've got Bitcoin up 0.7%, Ethereum up 2.2%. We've got XRP up 0.9%, BNB up 1.1%. We've got Solana up 3.1%, Tron sitting up 0.7%, Doge sitting up 4.5%. We've got Cardano up 1.9%, Hyperliquid up 2.1%, SWI up 0.3% right now. Bitcoin Cash up 2.1, Chainlink up 3.2. We've got Leo token back to remaining quite stable now that we're not seeing some crazy volatility, up 0.1%. We've got Stellar Lumens taking that spot from Avalanche and from Shiba in that market cap, up 3.6%. We've got Avalanche losing that position from Stellar Lumens and up 2.2%. Shiba Inu taking a spot in the market cap as well. Normally sitting at 19, now at 18 in that market cap, sitting up 2.1%. Toncoin sitting down 7% right now, but starting to see some green on that hourly. And we've got HBAR taking that number 20 spot back from Litecoin, up 3.7% right now. Eric Wallen saying Avalanche is just terrible. Well, I'm of the same opinion, but we can save that one for later. We can do a whole show on how terrible Avalanche is, but don't get me started because I won't stop. We do have extreme greed being hit on our fear and greed meters right now. Stock side at 78 in extreme greed. And the crypto side of things, not too extreme greed just yet, but we might see that being hit quite soon. We are up 7 points and 73 in greed. We do have quite a bit of liquidity that is residing towards the top side on the higher term time frame. Let me get that refreshed because I opened that up quite a while ago. You're starting to see that liquidity piling up at about $110,000 for the top side. Those higher term time frames do have that a little bit hotter there. But for our daily time, we do have $108,000 being that liquidity area to kind of watch for. Zoom this on out. Take a look at that 3-day. 3-day looking quite nice for a little bit of some pullback before we can see that nice continuation towards the upside. For that $110,000 liquidity grab, we do have that sitting at about 106.8 for that extreme bottom side, with that nice light hotspot sitting at $108,000 there. Zoom that on out. Take a look at the 2-week. 2-week looking quite similar, with liquidity up at the tops of $110,000, where this is just some light liquidity that we would clear out on a shorter term time frame before we can continue up to that $110,000 mark. All right, let's take a look at that economic calendar. We don't really have a lot coming out of the US today, which, kind of nice after a holiday weekend to not have anything too crazy to push markets in either direction. Scroll it on down. We do have a little bit of some some light data, some bill auctions coming out today. Nothing too crazy for the markets. Scrolling on down just a little bit. Getting into tomorrow, we do have some light data as well, some more bill auctions. And that big market mover for the Asia trading time zone tomorrow, going to be that inflation rate for China. Scrolled on down to Wednesday. That's when we get our first real heavy data drop out of the United States. Going to be our 30-year mortgage rates and those mortgage rate applications. Scrolled on down a little bit further. This is where you get those FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock. That's going to be that next thing to kind of watch for. I don't think it's going to be anything different than what we've already been hearing from Jerome Powell, where, hey, we're kind of in that wait and see period, especially with the big news for this week going to be that unpausing of rates going forward. Trump says he wants to send out those letters to countries that have not negotiated deals just yet to let them know that those tariffs that have been paused will be starting back up in August. So we will dive into that news a little bit later this week. Probably going to save that one for the 9th, since that was that deadline on making a deal. Let's hop over to the Bitcoin chart and say good morning to everyone, because we've got quite a few people in here. We got Jesse Gluck in here. As always, good morning to you. We got Kyle Fields in the chat. Good morning, sir. We've got Dylan VA in here saying, hope everyone has a good day. I hope you do too, sir. We got Eric Wallen in the chat. Good morning to you. We got K Diggity in here. He was the winner of the $50 giveaway, and he said that he wanted to do something with the community instead. He said, keep the $50 and figure out something else to do. So here this week, I will be getting those funds moved over to an exchange, and we will start a morning trading session together. More of a swing trade type style trade. And then we will come back the next day, see how the trade is doing, decide if we want to take some profits together, and then go from there, find something else to maybe trade, or just keep that one riding. And then once things get a little bit higher in that account, we'll do giveaways from that account more regularly. All right, we got Jesse Gluck saying, Dylan, I'm not feeling well today. Well, I hope you get to feeling better, Jesse. Maybe you just need some more sleep. Stop burning that candle at both ends, sir. Let's scroll it on down a little bit further. Jesse needs rest and fluid, says K Diggity. Probably some water would help out too. We got Jay Violet in here. Good morning, or good evening as you're over there in Australia. No, BC, I want to stay anonymous. Well, K Diggity is a very anonymous name there, so I had to let everyone know. We've got JREMR in the chat. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day as well. Let's see, did I miss anyone? Not looking like I missed anyone. All right, go ahead. Throw any alt request you have in the chat for me, because it's not going to take me very long to dive through these articles. They are going to be quite quick to get through. Jay Violet saying, yes, it is evening here. Oh, Crypto Billy sliding in the chat. Good morning to you. And OJ, perfect. Let's do some action. Good morning to you. HBAR and SEI. All right, I can definitely take a look at those. And of course, we got ADA requested as well. So ADA, we got HBAR and SEI. Can take a look at all of those. SEI as well. All right, let's hop into this Bitcoin chart first, because we are seeing some things here on this daily that might push price a little bit down. I'm of the opinion that we might start seeing more sideways actions here. It is summertime. Seeing us hold this $106,000 point quite nicely on these daily candles is something I've been looking at as a floor for our sideways summer lull. You might be seeing a little bit of some wick action to grab liquidity that might sit underneath here, looking at that $104,000 area. But for the most part, we are seeing a nice sideways range here below our golden pocket fib extension and some $106,000 mark, which is been for the past couple of weeks now. So we'll kind of have to see if we continue that as we progress into summer. We aren't seeing any rate cuts that are heading our way just yet. So waiting for those rate cuts to really boost that market, kind of see some boring price action, which is not a bad time to buy in at if you do think we're going to get those rate cuts and some nice explosive action. Let's take a look at that 4 hour though, see what we're looking at there, because we do have those bearish divergences stacked up on that daily. We are seeing a lower high here on the 4 hour after we got that nice little rejection off of our golden pocket fib extension. You are getting that rollover here on both that MACD and prime oscillator as well. MACD rolling over, looking like we might break below that zero line as money flow is staying in the red here on the 4 hour, just like it was on that daily. We've got your volume starting to increase just a little bit here. But all of these bearish divergences on the 4 hour as well have really yet to play out. So might be looking back towards that $106,000 mark all over again. We'll just kind of have to wait and see with that market open if we're going to grab that bottom side liquidity all over again. We do have that liquidity sitting at about that $108,000 mark, where we're seeing all of the lows from there. Scrolled on in, take a look at that 1 hour and see what the day might be bringing our way here. Get that zoomed in just a little bit. That 1 hour getting some rollover as well. MACD just breaking below our indicator line there. You've got your money flow in the red here as well, and that prime oscillator continuing to head on down with that volume remaining quite steady here. So kind of watching to see if we continue to get that move to the downside for the morning, kind of cool off those oscillators just a little bit before we try to make that nice liquidity grab towards the upside. You do have 108,200 being a nice support area, which is also where that liquidity was residing towards the bottom side. Take a look at the 15-minute and the morning, and that's kind of where you're seeing a little more cool off might be necessary. Let's get this scrolled on in. zoomed on in just a little bit more, you're seeing some nice strong sideways action here after that move off of the golden pocket. You do get that nice sideways momentum here at that $108,000 mark. Which is where all that liquidity is back residing on the bottom side. You do have that MACD looking to try to break that indicator line towards the upside here, but we're getting a little bit of a rejection off of it this morning so far. You've got that prime oscillator sitting in the red, heading back down as money flow is also sitting in the red. Volume extremely low, so we are waiting for a little bit of some cool off here on these oscillators as well, after they spent a lot of time up here after the weekend's end. So waiting for that cool off on both the 15-minute and the hourly to kind of get that push back towards the upside after a clear of liquidity towards the bottom side, and wait for that $110,000 and that golden pocket to come back into play. All right, we had a few other alt requests. We'll see if we have time for those as well. We got LTC and some Caspa requested. Been a little while since I've taken a look at Caspa. We can definitely take a look at that one. All right. Any other assets? Nope. All right, let's hop into that first news article I had pulled up, because that was a Satoshi era wallet moving a lot of money. Let's get this scrolled on in. There we go. Bitcoin investor moves $8 billion worth of crypto after 14 years, originally bought for less than $210,000. 800,000 Bitcoin transferred from dormant Satoshi era wallet. And we'll scroll it on down just a little bit. All of these Bitcoins are highly revered Satoshi era, the infancy period between 2009 and 2011, when the cryptocurrency was first introduced. Wallets from this time frame from true believers of Bitcoin, people who invested in the radical idea of decentralized financial systems when a single coin wasn't even worth $1. So you can imagine the delight on the crypto bro's face when someone decided to move a record-breaking amount of Bitcoin yesterday. This man is up over 4 million% here. So a nice big strong move towards the upside. The previous record for the largest single transaction in Bitcoin history was a mere 3,700 Bitcoin, and a whopping 10,000 Bitcoin was now surpassed, moving it at and a whopping 10,000 Bitcoin has now surpassed it, moving at once. There was a total of 8 wallets involved in this transaction, each containing an aforementioned 10K of Bitcoin, and they're all owned by the same person according to lead crypto analyst Arkham. The tide started around early Friday when 2 wallets that had been inactive for 14 years suddenly transferred 10,000 Bitcoin each to new addresses. These original wallets date back to April 3rd, 2011, when they had initially received a large amount of Bitcoin. At the time, 1 Bitcoin was worth just 78 cents, so 10,000 Bitcoin would have been valued at $7,800. That chalks up to a nearly 14 million% increase. 8 hours later, 6 more wallets from the same era, each containing 10,000 Bitcoin, moved their holdings without any prior test transactions. These are from May 4th, 2011, when Bitcoin had risen to $3.25. In total, these 8 wallets make up 80,000 Bitcoin, the entire stash believed to be held by a mysterious whale. Bitcoin is currently trading at $108,000, slightly down from the high of $110,000, which had reached shortly before the transfers occurred. So quite a bit of Bitcoin is getting moved around. Might be looking to take some profits. You know, it's never a bad time to take some profits when you're up 14 million%. Yeah, I don't really know if that's a top selling indicator there, or if he's just getting ready for some more action towards the top side before he gets ready to kind of drip that Bitcoin back into the exchanges. We'll kind of have to keep our eye on this one. I'm sure we'll get some more news on these wallet addresses. We did have one other article I wanted to touch on here, and this is billionaire Warren Buffett dumping almost $500 million into a single stock here. Scrolling on down, billionaire Warren Buffett is pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into a single investment after creating a huge cash pile, steadily dumping shares of Bank of America, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo. Berkshire Hathaway's latest 13F filing shows the Wall Street legend bought more than 20 million shares of Sirius XM radio in Q3 of 2024 through Q1 of 2025, valued at about $459 million, based on the average entry of $22.95 per share. I just thought it was kind of interesting. After a big pile of cash was made by Warren Buffett, that he chooses to go into Sirius XM radio. We'll kind of have to follow this one. I might put that one on my watch list, and we will follow that one forward. All right, we did have a few of those alt requests to take a look at this morning. I did want to take a look at gold after we got that nice push back up towards the 236 we had talked about last week. Looking like we might make that move back down towards the 382. We did talk about that being a potential if we weren't able to hold the 236. We do have a bit of resistance all over again at our 236 after we were unable to really maintain that. Every time I'm up 14 million%, I take profits also, says K Diggity. Yeah, that's just the smart thing to do, secure some of those profits, and 14 million% towards the upside is insane gains towards the upside. You don't really get that in such a short time frame, and 10 to 14 years is a very short time frame when you're talking about investing and being up 14 million%. So quite explosive gains in a short amount of time there. All right, we did have gold looking a little bit more towards the downside here. That 1 hour looking like you might need to see a little more cool off, and this 15-minute really telling that story here. You've got curvature all over again here on your MACD. You did have a peak seeker flashing as we're making some more sideways momentum here at about that $3,300 mark. So looking like that might be a new resistance area as well. We did see all of this moved through quite explosively on Tuesday before we tried to make that 236 a support area. Looking like that money flow is extremely red here on the 15-minute, and your volume holding quite steady as well. So looking like a lot of selling pressure is coming on in for gold. We are going to wait to see at those FOMC minutes if we can get that nice stronger push towards the upside. I would look back down towards the 382 and about $3,250 for some support on gold. All right, we did have those alt requests, so let's start hopping into those. We had ADA requested. Let's get that one pulled up. It is on our list there, so there we go. Let's see what we're looking at for some ADA. We did have 57 cents, an area we had talked about over and over again, being held up as some strong support this weekend. Let's scroll this on out to that daily term time frame. Scroll on out and see what we're looking at now. We do have that MACD above our indicator line, but remaining below our zero line as we're waiting on that money flow all over again. We do have 62 cents being an area for some strong resistance in the short-term time frame. We're going to need to get above 60 cents and really hold that as some support here. We have those very equal candle bodies on our daily time frame coming in at 60 cents. So that's that area I'd kind of watch for first, and then try to get back up to 62 cents where you might start seeing a little bit of resistance. You do have that prime oscillator also heading back towards the upside, looking quite green. True 7 still sitting in the red here, but on its way back up, and volume just starting to increase here on the daily. So let's take a look at this 1 hour, see what today might be bringing our way here. Looking like we've got quite a bit of sideways momentum here as well, unable to really break above that 58 cent point, which is that area we had wanted to see broken and turned into some support from back here. So waiting to see if we can get that nice strong upside momentum off of 58 cents. We are seeing some sideways momentum here on our prime oscillator and our MACD, which is doing some nice cool off as we maintain that 58 cent point over and over again, really cooling off both of those oscillators. Got your volume down quite nicely, so really waiting on that momentum and money flow to start coming back in here. We got Darren Does Things in here saying, Ayo alumni, a bit late, hate to get a stream done quick before a meeting. Well, good morning to you, Darren Does Things. I hope you're having a great day so far, getting ready for some nice price action today. We are looking for a little bit of some downside momentum, or at least some sideways momentum to cool off some of these oscillators before we try to make that stronger push towards the upside there. So get ready for that meeting, and we will see you at that next one. Probably watching this at that 2x speed there. I know you love to get caught up on. Let's see, we got that 15-minute and the morning looking like some more cool off headed our way here as well. You do have this nice strong support at 57 cents. So if we are unable to really maintain that 58 cent point we had talked about wanting to see as some support, then look back down to 57 cents. We're seeing all of these nice strong bouncing actions off of. You did see some brief breaks below that, but you do have that 800 moving average as that strong support there. And then you got that nice move back up. Saw this 700 turned into some support, and then got that strong move back up. So waiting to see if we can cool off some of these hourly and 15-minute oscillators with some sideways momentum here before you see that stronger move back towards the upside. I would target 62 cents next if we can see these oscillators cooled off and that money flow coming back in across the board. All right, we had ADA there. Let's take a look at some H bar. Scrolling on down, we got H bar sitting down here, and we talked about this one last week. I wanted to see that strong bounce off of 15.3, and that's right around that area where we got that nice strong bouncing action. We did blast straight through that area we had talked about as some resistance, being that 1567 mark, and then we bounced off of that, off of a quick pullback, and continued toward the upside. We do have 16336 being that next little resistance area to watch for. We are looking quite similar here, as well as some of those other assets we had looked at. 4 hour looking like a pullback might be heading our way here if we see that nice strong break of money flow coming on in. Looking quite similar to ADA on that 4 hour and that 1 hour, where we're getting that nice curvature back down. Looking like it's doing it with some sideways momentum here as well. So if we can at least maintain 15.8 for H bar, really see that nice sideways momentum coming on in, we can cool these oscillators off without breaking back down towards 1567. That is kind of that strong support area to watch for if we are unable to maintain that 15.8 range. And then I would look back towards the upside with 16,336. We do have that next area's target being 17 cents. We haven't been there in quite a while. We rejected off of that quite heavily before. Now we're trying to maintain some of these price actions here at that 15 cent point before we get all the way back up there. That 1 hour looking like you might need to see a little bit more cool off, and 15-minute here as well looking like you need to see some more cool off before you can get that stronger pushback towards the upside. You are seeing a little bit of sideways momentum here on our MACD and prime oscillator as well, but we're sitting heavily in the red here on your prime oscillator while your volume is extremely low. So we're really waiting on money flow across the board to come back in, as long as we maintain some of these key levels directly below us, which we've been bouncing off of for both Bitcoin and ADA and H bar here, then you might see that stronger move towards the upside as we cool those oscillators off. All right, we had SEI requested as well, so let's take a look at that one. I don't know if it's on my list here. Favorites down here. There it is. All right, it's been quite a while since I've taken a look at this one. Maintaining the bottom side of our fib retracements quite nicely. Let's get that top side. There we go. Looking like this is that short-term time frame, maintaining the top side off of. Let's get this zoomed out all the way there. Take a look at that daily, see what we're looking at. Got a few different areas. We saw that nice retracement all the way down to the 1618 on that shorter term time frame. Got that nice strong rejection off of our platinum pocket there on that higher term time frame. So let's get this shorter one hidden after and see what we're looking at. We do have the zero line coming in a little bit below us. Let's hide the short term time frame. There we go. We are looking for the potential of some bouncing actions below us if we can continue to cool off this daily just a little bit. Your volume is starting to roll over. You've got your true 7 sitting in the red. Prime oscillator and MACD both breaking towards the downside just a little bit, but starting to get a little bit of sideways momentum there. So might look at about 23 cents for some bouncing action. That's where we see all of the highs from here coming on in. So let's get that horizontal ray drawn out. This is going to be our short-term bouncing area to kind of watch for. Let's get this one cleared out, and this is going to be that bottom side to kind of watch for if we were unable to maintain this range here. You are making higher lows and higher highs, so kind of watching for a next higher low to be made at about that 20 looks like 22, almost 23 cents there. So let's zoom this on in, take a look at the 1 hour, see what the day might be bringing our way. This one maintaining some sideways action here, but your volume is starting to slow up just a bit. MACD sitting a little closer to that zero line and looking like we're going to break towards the bottom side of it. We got two reversal signals that have flashed as we're starting to get those sideways momentum and getting that curvature over on that prime oscillator as well. So waiting to see if we can at least maintain this 25 cent range for the morning And if we are unable to, looking back down to 22 cents, if we are able to maintain that, really cool off these oscillators. We do have that platinum pocket and about 32 cents being that strong upside target to watch for if we can get above 29 cents. Let's get that other horizontal drawn out there. That's that 29 cents area to kind of watch to get above on that shorter term time frame to see if we can get back all the way up above the platinum pocket there. Let's take a look at the 15-minute and the morning. Also seeing that sideways momentum. Got that nice strong reversal signal that had flashed, but cooling that oscillator off quite nicely with that sideways momentum. You're also seeing your MACD getting that curvature back down with some strong momentum, but not really breaking below that 25-cent mark. So looking for that sideways momentum here in the morning to really continue to cool off those oscillators here as well before we see that strong money flow coming back in. All right, let's take a look at some LTC. See what we're looking at there. LTC. I know it's on the list here somewhere. There it is. LTC. Trying to maintain that golden pocket there. Let's get this scrolled on out to the 4 hour. See what we're looking at there. Try to take a look at some Caspa as well. Any Kasei users here? I've never heard of that project, so I am not one. I don't know if we got some degens in here that might be a Kasei user. Let's see. Scrolling on out for LTC. Looking like that golden pocket might be a little bit of some resistance. We did see that nice Wiccan action above our highs from over here at 89. Clearing out some liquidity. Was unable to clear out any of the liquidity above 94. So that's that next area to kind of watch for some liquidity. Guarantee there's some liquidity above 94 here, where we see this resistance at 93.59. That's going to be that next kind of area to watch for if we are able to get above 88, that $89 mark for LTC. We are looking like we're making higher lows here, so just kind of watching to see if we get this sideways momentum here around our golden pocket as well, really confirm that as some support and then make our way back towards the upside. Let's see what the 1 hour is looking like for some LTC. Also seeing that nice strong movement sideways here. We're sitting below the golden pocket for LTC, getting that nice strong sideways momentum. Let's see, MACD getting that break below our indicator line, looking like we might make that move towards our 0 line on that prime oscillator. Got a few reversal signals that have flashed and is cooling off quite nicely while your volume is holding quite steady. So at least looking to maintain some of that 86.20 range for LTC. Really cool those oscillators off a little bit more before we get that stronger break towards the upside. If we are unable to maintain that, I would look back down towards the highs from here. Can be 84.34 to kind of watch for. That is where we get a lot of play off of here as well. Let's see, 84.30 cents going to be that kind of area to watch for if you're unable to maintain all of this sideways momentum here. So things looking quite similar across the board, just waiting to cool off some of these oscillators without that crazy move towards the downside. All right, we had Caspa watch for as well. Let's see, Caspa. I know it's on my list, but that was quicker there. All right, Caspa looking quite similar as well, above one of those areas we would watch for, seeing a little bit of some sideways momentum. Let's take a look at the daily on Caspa, see what we're looking at there. maintaining the platinum pocket here, getting that sideways momentum here above 7 cents, seeing if we can at least break above that 8 cent mark next for Caspa. Let's get that MACD better in view, looking towards the upside here, waiting on some money flow to really come back in as your volumes just starting to increase, and that prime oscillator looking like it's headed back towards the upside as well. You do have 8.5 cents being a little bit of a resistance area. That is that golden pocket to kind of watch for Caspa to see some resistance at. We are maintaining 7 cents quite nicely. That's that sideways momentum for Caspa. Let's get this scrolled on in towards that hourly look, see what we're looking at there. Maintaining that nice 7.5 cent point for Caspa. We did see that coming in as some resistance before. We got that nice strong push up, and we're looking to cool off the oscillators here as well, but doing so with that sideways momentum. Case is an encrypted Caspa messaging thing you can link to in super chats. I'll have to take a look at that, see what it is. I don't really use Caspa, so might be something interesting to take a look at. We are seeing some resistance at our moving averages on those higher term time frame moving averages. That 900 was that strong resistance, and we've got that nice strong support down below us at 7 cents, where we're seeing all of that bouncing action. Let's take a look at that 15-minute in the morning, because things are looking quite similar there as well. Getting that curvature back towards the downside on our MACD, but doing so with some nice strong sideways momentum on that one. Prime oscillator looking towards the downside, got a nice strong reversal signal that has flashed, but really maintaining that 0.768 area for Caspa quite nicely. So really waiting to see what happens with that market open, see if we get some continued sideways momentum as things move to the downside just a little bit on the stock side. We do have very strong support at 0.768, and then if we can at least maintain that, looking back up to 8 cents. If you're unable to maintain that, looking back down to about 7.5 cents. We see all of that quick strong rejection off of, and we got that nice strong bounce action off of as well. So let's get that drawn out there. That's going to be that area to kind of watch for some bouncing action if we're unable to maintain 0.768. All right, let's see. K Diggity saying Caspa to 0. We'll just have to watch this one because it's battered down quite heavily. It's got a lot of problems with those that halving schedule. So definitely has a few things to fix. Talked about that when Caspa first came out. I miss all the shenanigans at Sin City Crypto. I'm not sure what that one's about. Let's see. Their live streams at 1 a.m. my time now, says Jay Violet. Oh, that's a rough one. You'd have to pull some Jesse kind of sleep schedules to really catch up on that one. Let's see. Anything else in the chats? Not looking like I'm seeing anything else, but thank you for everyone that tuned on in this morning. I will see y'all at the next one. I will get those funds moved over so that we can start some live trading together. Really looking forward to that one. That new venture, we'll kind of have to see how that all goes. We are looking to make those longer term time frame trades, holding it for a day or two, really catching the bigger moves. Not so worried about those short-term moves and the morning moves, because we're gonna go with my trading style so that we can trade early in the morning, kind of ride it on out, and then make those decisions the next day together. So K and Diggity saying woot woot live trading. Yeah, I tried it over on Twitch. No one seems to want to live trade together over there. So we're going to do it here on YouTube. We're going to stick away from those degen coins though, okay? We're going to go with more established projects that have a lot of liquidity behind them so that we can kind of gauge those stronger moves together. And then we'll make those decisions the next day, whether we take some profits or whether we keep it riding. So I will see y'all tomorrow morning with those funds moved in our first live trade. Other than that, I will see you at the next one and that morning motivational video. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern time with Piper. We've got markets after dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto at 11 p.m. Eastern time as well. I'm not sure what's going on with trading with OC, but I think he's going to be doing trading live with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll kind of have to see if he clarifies that at that morning market report. Other than that, everyone wake up because today's going to be a good day.